Right, so I'm using a backup channel that I've realised I can't get to because it's connected to another channel. Oh God. Anyway, right, there's 8 subs, so there's a chance someone might see me streaming, I guess. I mean, I've done a few streams here, but God, I had trouble finding this channel on me stream yard. Fucking thing. Settings. Oh, well, we had a cold, cloudy morning, sunny afternoon, and now it's starting to cool off again. And it should be heating up, you know. Well, November it should be really hot. And December summer, so yeah, I know. Kookaburra, hello. Hello, Cookie. Okay, well, I'll just play stuff and see who turns up, eh? Yes. Because I've got a strike, you know, and I can't stream on. For some reason, it won't let me stream on off the grid with Koala Ken, which is crazy. Good.
Can I apologise first up for giving you a face for those images right there? I know it's horrifying stuff,
Yeah,
but I'm showing that because I usually talk about soy boys and bitches, but today I'm going to be doing the same thing because I'm talking about Jack Doherty and him crashing his car because he was acting like a complete low IQ pisshead. We're going to get to that. We've also got some other transport-related stories. We've got one
Jack
person
Doherty,
getting their car stolen. We got a car versus a cyclist. But as I always say, first up, if you want to help me out, hit the like button and the subscribe button as well, because I'm struggling here. And look, the CCP in China gets a lot of criticism, justifiably so. But occasionally, they do come out with a good policy, like this one here. China bans effeminate men on TV. That's the way you do it. And that's a great move because it limits people like Jack Doherty appearing on Chinese TV. And here he is. Here's the person we're talking about here. And many of my audience out there would not know who this is because my audience are not young, low IQ idiots. But you may have seen a clip about this guy in the past. He's the one that goes around annoying people in public, trying to start shit. And just when people are about to fight back and show him what's up, he's the one that acts like a bitch and hides behind his security so he doesn't have to face the consequences of his puerile, degenerate, low IQ, infantile, childlike behavior. And some people out there are saying that a bodyguard who would protect someone doing that is also a bitch. And as you can see here, the world's worst streamer, Jack Doherty, has been banned after crashing his new McLaren after driving while being on his phone. And hopefully this guy does actually face some criminal charges. He should. And here's one video that came out about this guy a while ago where his bodyguard, the one he hides behind when he does dumb shit, actually punched someone out who was doing pretty much nothing.
Don't touch me. I'm just saying, walk. Chill. You all said walk. Who are you talking to, dog? I'm just saying, y'all said just walk. Then walk. Oh, what the fuck you talking about? Oh, no, stop.
What's wrong with you? Are you fucking crazy?
Hey, what's up? Hey, one by one, what's up, nigga?
Fucking security guard are you?
Fuck you, bitch, walk.
Dude, what?
Like I said, this is the bodyguard right here who he hides behind. And did you notice the t-shirt he's wearing? Balenciaga. And remember a while ago when it came out that Balenciaga, how can we say this? Are very dubious in regard to kids. And this guy is apparently a big fan of that company. Interesting. But now let's get to the new footage of this guy crashing his McLaren.
No! Oh, fuck. No, watch out. Oh, fuck, open the door, open your door.
So just at the start of this clip, you can see how dumb this guy is. The behavior here is so low IQ, it's unbelievable. It's pissing down rain, and he's literally not looking at the road. He's on his phone, doesn't understand the dynamics of a car like that, tries to accelerate, and just goes straight into the rail there. What a dumbass.
Oh, Michael. Are you okay? Holy fuck. Oh my God, bro. My whole...
Or is it muted?
Oh my gosh. There's no fucking... Michael, here. Michael, do you have your film on that phone too?
Get the fucking shit off the road so people can have a double lane, you hear?
The cameraman did get slightly injured in this crash, like visibly injured. Yet this guy here is so desperate for clout. He literally gets the guy who was injured to film him. It's like, what the F is going on here? The stupidity here is just mind-blowing.
Concussions, you'll be right, mate.
We got another angle here. Check this out.
Help! Break the fucking window! Help! Oh, fuck, can you hold this? Oh, fuck. Oh.
Obviously, it was an electric car, otherwise it would have exploded.
But as the title of that article I read earlier said, Kik has now banned Jack Doherty for endangerment. Don't allow this guy to make money doing stupid shit like that, right? Someone could have easily been killed by his stupidity.
Fucking hell.
And he doesn't even care. He's like, yeah, film this. What an effing idiot. I can't believe people actually watch someone this stupid, but apparently they do. If he had to drive a manual,
see
he
how
wouldn't be
stupid
doing that
he is,
dumb
I
shit.
guess.
But wrapping up this story here about this idiot, I mean, this guy and his stupidity is going to get someone killed. Are people not worried about this? What about his minders? Do they care about it? Where are they? Where are his parents? Some people are even saying he might have done it on purpose. And I can't rule that out. It's possible, right?
Nah,
But the
don't-
less I see of this guy, the better. Just get the F out of my face, you piss out.
it's hard to do
Now
it.
let's move on to more important stories like
Crash
this
like
one
that
here
on purpose
about keeping your
without
eyes open because you
definitely
could
not.
get your car stolen just like this guy here did.
Oh, God. I didn't even notice. Not on the ball, mate.
The high trust society is a thing of the
Always
past.
watch your
He's
back.
thinking it's 10 years ago. It's not 10 years ago anymore. Shit has changed in a big way, and people will take your car at the drop of a hat. They won't care. We got this one here from the UK. Who's at fault here? Got a cyclist versus a car.
And he pushed himself in there because he held on to the car and
Okay, in my opinion, the car's in the wrong at first because they should have indicated, which they didn't. But then the cyclist, he took it a bit too far. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I think we'll finish up here with this one.
Now, what the fuck is Bishop doing? This man is funny, and he ain't gonna make.
oh, what the hell? Can't they sort of drive around?
He's just a big. Bishop is crazy. He ain't gonna make it.
It's just about that.
He might well just wait.
Oh, God.
And I think we can all agree that we're better off not being this person here, right? that's what's going on. Hope you're having a good day as always. And as I always say, get the peons the hell out of my stinking house.
Yes. Oh, well, bloody YouTube with no play. Got to get an ad block on this.
What's going on YouTube? I am back, and I apologize for
Yeah, I apologise for it repeating itself. No reason. It's almost impossible getting through these ads. Yeah, so 3 watching. I can see Jesse Ventura there in this. See, I got 2 Rotman channels, and I don't know if I'm streaming on the right Jesse one. Ventura there in this. Oh yeah, this is the right one. 8 subs. The other one only has 2 subs. There you going, Jace? G'day, mate. Yeah, I've been watching Creature Features quite often. I see you watch that. I like that show. And yeah, it says 4 watching, but on my yeah, it's showing on my StreamYard now. Right, okay. Okay, so we've lined up some things for history. Tozy, oh, he's not too bad. He doesn't know how to say Doherty. He calls him Dorothy.
The chat while driving with a friend in the car while it was raining, as he was speeding and looking right down on his phone. And he absolutely knew what he was doing because just
Holy
a minute
drama's
before he
coming back
crashed,
for Jack.
he said this.
Literally, guys, you can't see. I'm most likely going to
I
crash.
can't
this car.
believe what I've been
Hopefully
seeing the
not.
last
So yeah,
few
naturally
weeks.
he spun out, then gave us the wildest show of how little he cares about the people surrounding him, because the only thing that was important for him was, we have to make sure we get all of this on film. And then obviously the McLaren, meanwhile, he gave his friend, who he seriously hurt, the camera to film everything while blood was gushing out of his face. Extremely normal influencer behavior. That was sarcasm, because for even some of the worst streamers, that's a massive stretch. I mean, this stream was just so much of a narcissistic disaster. One would think it would be like a phenomenal parody of how these recent IRL streamers act, except this is just reality, and this is exactly how they act. So now he's dropped a YouTube video in response to this crash, and we get to see the footage he was focused on filming, even though the first responders told him, hey, can you stop filming so we can actually check on your friend to make sure he's okay? Because here he gave this baffling response when they asked that.
Hey, listen, man. I just crashed my car. I lost 200 grand. I need to make my money back somehow. Sorry.
It's unbelievable how much this guy sucks. This is the most self-inflicted situation ever that everyone else around him now has to clean up. I mean, this dude was so useless, he couldn't even call himself a tow truck because he was more busy having himself filmed that he was in a car crash.
Don't tell me you're going to call your own. I couldn't even help you.
So let's see the footage that was more important for him to get than for him to actually take proper care of his friend.
I don't know how to feel right now, guys. I'm sad, bro. I'm so sad right now. Sadness can't even express how sad I actually am. At least my Richard Mills still okay. Just kidding.
He's not kidding. Meanwhile, his friend is standing there behind him with blood gushing out of his head. And he's like, at least my Richard Mill is okay. Yeah. This guy has the personality of soggy bread, so the only thing he can cling to is his material possessions.
Sucks, bro. I did not think this was going to be happening today.
Me neither. God, so bad.
All right, guys, my McLaren is totaled. It was a couple days before my 21st birthday.
Oh no! My own stupidity just ruined the vibes. It seems like this is the first time he actually realizes actions have consequences. Because remember the time when he flipped the golf cart with his girlfriend in it and put her in the hospital? That was funny to him because it didn't really affect him, as he didn't own the golf cart and he wasn't the one who got hurt. But now it's fine.
Oh, fucking ads. Come on, play. Hold on. Probably go back to the start again. Right.
Material possessions.
Sucks, bro.
Remember the time when he flipped the golf cart with his girlfriend in it and put her in the hospital? That was funny to him because it didn't really affect him, as he didn't own the golf cart and he wasn't the one who got hurt. But now it's finally clicking with him. Oh, stupid actions lead to stupid consequences. Wow. Also, shout out McLaren for saving their lives here, because I said this in my last video, but this crash could have been so much worse. If the front of the car didn't completely disintegrate and absorb the impact, their bodies would have had to take that impact. And if that happens, they likely wouldn't have been walking away from this.
You hit your head hard, bro. I just remember, like, after it, just panicking. Both the windows breaking.
I know the smoke was...
Dude, that guy.
Did you see me kick out the window?
Who?
Did you see me kick out the
That
window?
was you?
Yeah.
Dude, and then someone, I think, ripped the other window out. I was, like, trying to figure out how to do it. You were, like, banging your elbow on it.
I know, I punched it.
Dude, you were going crazy. That was Michael David. But, like, that was so scary. It smoked up so fast. Like, how did that happen?
Dude, I don't know.
Bro, if you think if I had a full tank of gas, like, we would have been exploded.
I don't even know.
Because my tank was empty. Like, it literally was at, like, 20 miles left. And then also, on top of that, we crashed, like, 42 miles per hour.
I know, we weren't even going fast.
At all.
Bullshit.
I mean, the last clip we saw, the speedometer, was this. And also notice how he's looking at the chat on his phone and not the road.
No!
So I don't know why he's like trying to gaslight the story when he streamed the whole story himself. He is his own worst enemy here. He broadcasted everything And then now he's trying to repaint the story. And as we know, he sped up after we last saw the speedometer. Obviously, hydroplaning and sliding sideways slows you down. But if he was driving 42, he wouldn't have spun out and crossed 4 lanes of traffic like that.
We hydroplaned. Dude, we could have went off that cliff down the whole thing. Would have been dead. Holy, there was a cliff right there. Oh my god.
The other
We're happy to be alive, you know?
Mother, she's turning away. She didn't want to look. We left in 2 cars. We left here in 2 cars like 6 hours ago, and now we're back in 1 car. It's your mom. Now your mom's crying.
Yo, he's so crazy for that. No way, dog. Reckless endangerment for content. Yo, that's wild. Yo, he's wild. He's crazy. This guy's cray-cray.
You are lucky you are alive, Jack. I don't want to go on your funeral, Jackie. Please, take this seriously. No marijuana when you're driving.
I didn't.
Phone. What happened? Tell me.
Mom, it was just wet. We hydroplaned, Mom. Like, I couldn't do anything about it.
At least admit that you were being an idiot on your phone to your own mother. She's going to find out either way because this guy documents everything. Again, his hunger for clout on the internet is his own worst nightmare because he streamed himself committing a crime. If his friend realizes that he isn't actually his friend, this is a grand slam lawsuit for him right here. And that's also the perfect stream for his insurance company because, you know, their goal is to not pay. Then on top of that, there could easily be criminal charges here as what he did was clearly reckless endangerment, which could be up to 1 year in jail in Florida. He's also a high profile, extremely disliked person doing this. So he also is, I guess, the perfect target for Florida to make an example out of. Because let's be real here, the state of Florida does not want people to be acting like this on their roads. But of course, he doesn't understand why people have a problem with his behavior.
So much going on, like no one understands. Everyone's so quick to put some on me on social media. No one's gone through what I gone through just now. Like I literally almost died in a car accident. I literally almost died in these cars too. At least I still got 2 Lambos. No, I'm kidding.
Again, he's not kidding. No one's laughing. That's all he has. And no, plenty of people have gone through exactly what we've gone through here and caused accidents because they were morons. That's why reckless endangerment is a charge.
Don't eat this on the rain.
Motion, I can do it again.
Hey, you're stupid, Mom, that's for sure.
Reason, Jack.
Where's Michael Davis?
Where's Michael? I'm going to go the other Mike.
I'm ready to start going again. Give me my keys. I realized I still got my McLaren key, so I still have all my keys. Let me take a pic with all my keys real quick. So people still think I have a McLaren.
This guy might actually have the lowest EQ that I've ever seen out of any social media influencer because he just somehow manages to say exactly the things that would make any person shed their skin with cringe. It's like he's deliberately trying to be unbearable.
Oh, I'm just happy to be alive, guys. I literally was crying on the way home. Like, if we didn't hit the guardrail head on, one of us would have been just crushed. Like, that would have been so bad. But I'm glad that me and Michael are both okay. That's a huge lesson. No more driving cars like this in the rain. No more, I don't even know, bro. Like, I wasn't even going fast. That's the crazy part. It's just like, just can't drive those cars in the rain.
No, you just can't floor a high-powered rear-wheel drive car in the rain while not looking at the road with one hand on the wheel. Then when you hydroplane, you jam the brakes. That is 100% a skill issue. And I don't even think he understands what he's even driving. He's just buying supercars because it's a flex and they go fast. And I also don't think he realizes it yet, but he just lived through the Dunning-Kruger effect. Because this dude literally said in his last video that he thought he was the best driver in the world.
I'm not driving in the rain anymore. I thought I was the best driver in the world. Clearly I'm not.
Well, that's your problem right there. Yeah, that's what happens when you drive supercars in good conditions. They are engineered to give you so much confidence while driving until the conditions aren't good and you total your car. Like if his first car was an old school Shelby Cobra, he wouldn't be here today. Because I mean, there's a reason Mustangs seem to be heat-seeking missiles for crowds, and they're a lot easier to drive than those Shelbys. Now, obviously, I might have set myself up for a cell phone if I crash a car now, but hey, if I'm being a dumbass and I end up doing so, that's on me for being a complete dumbass. But the goal here is to never act like that. But I digress. To end my rant, I'm just going to say I think the prefrontal cortex patch for Jack at 25 is going to do wonders for him. But next, he addresses his kick ban in complete denial.
Jack, I promise you have a mic.
Idiot.
I promise I will be soon in your home. You have to take care of yourself. What happened with the live stream? Okay?
You got banned.
Why?
It's suspended. I'm fine.
So how are you going to do your property?
I will. I'll get on banned. Don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't think so, bud. Kick in recent times have actually been following through with their permanent bans, like Johnny Smalley. He's been begging for months to get his account back, but he's still permanently banned. Kick would look extremely weak and unserious if they unban him, so Jack is in complete denial, as again, he's never had real consequences before.
You okay? Are you sure? Where you got the stitches?
Like there.
Yeah, I don't want to see them.
So, a little wicked. We're live though.
You okay?
Michael, how's it feel? How you feel?
Kind of, but
Yeah,
no harm to play here.
that's fine. At least we're okay. Like, it literally put into perspective, like, we could have both been dead right now. That's like the crazy sad part.
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy. My reckless behavior could have ended your life. That's sad. It's so hard to take this guy serious.
All right, guys, I just totaled my McLaren. It is completely cooked right now. I don't know what to do. Look, all the parts are right here. I got my Tesla picking me up. This is the worst day of my life. Damn.
Well, it's safe to say his Kick streaming career is in the same condition as his McLaren. But speaking of scary things, we just dropped an exclusive Halloween limited edition. Collection over at Matt City. Hey, maybe Jack can practice with some toy cars on this bad boy. Or who knows? Maybe you need some.
Hi, Jack Dowdy. What did they get? Yes, it's good to see him get justice. What a big pain in the ass that guy's been. Little turd. Well, the birds are all happy because the sun's out. Funny little things. Yeah, so, anyway.
Sorry.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else. People of Springfield, please don't eat my dog. Here's a catalog of other things to eat.
They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
That dog's face. Oh, God. Well, it's been a fun few weeks of that, eh? That meme has been pretty good. Better than the ray gun one. I reckon. Benny Johnson.
Coming straight out of Melmac. That's where I'm at. What's my favorite dish? You know it's cat.
An alien being has come to live with us and eat our cans and snack on our cat.
You got a cat?
You eat cats? You can't eat Lucky.
He's quick. I'll give him that.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. We've seen how human beings reacted to Donald Trump's debate performance against Kamala Harris 2 nights ago. Independents were swayed to now vote for Trump, in fact, by a 2-to-1 margin over Queen Communist Camilla. Undecided voters not convinced by Harris after debate with Trump. This according to Reuters. But what do the dogs think, ladies and gentlemen? This, I believe, is particularly important. How do dogs react to this debate? See how we listen to Trump. Very mindful, very demure. We can see right through crazy communist Kamala. That's right. Good for you, doggy. And this dog probably hated the time when Donald Trump brought up the fact that allegedly cats and dogs and pets are being eaten. We even have the police reports now to prove that ducks and waterfowl have gone missing in Springfield, Ohio. This is no longer some unproven theory. This is something that's been backed up by firsthand evidence, police reports, official ones. I don't know really how you wiggle your way out of this. President Trump brought it up on the debate stage.
The dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Gosh, I love AI. I love it. I love AI. So this was the original comment. This is what Donald Trump said. Now, the internet has decided to say something else about this comment. The internet has decided that this comment is worth remixing into a banger. Oh, yeah. They turned Trump's "they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats" line from the debate into a song, and it is the #1 trend on TikTok. So
Coming straight out of Melmac. That's where I'm at. What's
They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. 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 They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
And ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there had been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
People on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television said my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
The people on television saying the dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond.
It's a banger. We have been finding out, and now the internet is finding out that this is a heater. This song, check it out.
The dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cat. Eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Oh my goodness. One of the #1 trends on all of TikTok is this song right now, and it is rocketing across the internet. You have quite a few people saying this should be up in the club. It's got to be up in the club. Is it going to have like an associated dance with it?
The dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
It's catchy. Apparently, eating the dog, using the cat is the latest trend on TikTok, and I'm here for it, says Charlie Kirk. Trump is culture. Young TikTokers are using Trump's eating the dogs, eating the cats line from the debate into a trend. That was fast. Holy moly. Have a look. Gabby Thomas getting in on the eating the dogs and cats. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Uh-oh. This is a latest viral trend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just this exact line. It's not just this song. It's actually something that transcends the internet, transcends virality itself. People are remixing this moment, and it is completely and totally glorious. Check this out.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs. And this is what's happening. Dogs. People on television.
There have been no credible reports of specific claims.
I just love it. I just absolutely love it. There are so many different versions of this now that are popping up. This one I think is pretty great. Here we go.
Eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. They're eating the dogs. The people.
Okay, one final one, because there are quite a few of these. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more of them. One final one. This is the Donald Trump trombone version.
Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
It's culture, okay? You can argue with it all you want. You can be sad about it, but this is culture, ladies and gentlemen. This is the power of Trump, the cultural power of Trump, and this is why they've always hated President Trump, because he was able to come from the world that they believe they have total and complete control over, the world of who has fame, power, audience, fortune. They wish to control all of that, and they will cut you down if you start to gain any type of notoriety, prominence, or power without their consent. They, being the machine, the elites, who run, quite frankly, the mechanisms for power. And Donald Trump came from that world and swagger jacked from them that ability, and has only become more relevant, more powerful, more viral, and can smash any of the miniature celebrities that they throw at him. Donald Trump just like shadow boxing Taylor Swift. It's like obvious. The Taylor Swift endorsement, like, there's like, this song's more viral than Taylor Swift's song. So that's the power of culture. That's the power of culture. Hit your boy Benny, like, share, and subscribe. Keep dancing. See ya.
There's a little documentary about the Cabbage Patch babies.
I know what you're thinking.
It's all AI.
How did I end up in this situation? Trust me, it's not an easy story to tell. And honestly, most of you won't believe me. But what if I told you that babies come from cabbages? Yeah, I know. Wild, right? I thought the same thing until my buyers, or parents as you call them, told me the truth. Now I get it. It's a hard story to swallow. But if you stick with me, I'll tell you everything. Well, I guess we have to go back to the beginning. You see, a long time ago, ancient alchemists stumbled upon the secret of how to birth babies from cabbages. This magic was regarded as the greatest secret. Using the Philosopher's Stone, they were able to find a new way to give birth, through the sacred cabbage. Why cabbage, you might ask? Well, rumor has it that they thought it looked like a baby's head. Makes some sort of sense, right? These cabbages were engineered to grow humans. I guess you could say I'm a homunculus. Actually, we all are. But the new church couldn't let that kind of power stay in the hands of a few alchemists. No, they wanted the cabbage secret for themselves. So they destroyed the alchemists, wiped them out. And after that, the new church was in control of the cabbage knowledge and its power. They used this secret to grow their own army. Cabbage-born, loyal, and ready to serve. Around this time, something else was happening. A reset. The ancient world, filled with advanced civilizations, was falling apart. Floods, earthquakes, whole cities buried under mud. Some say it was due to a certain group's affiliation with black magic. Others think it was just nature taking its course. Whatever the reason, these incredible cities were destroyed and emptied out. Massive floods of mud buried many of the cities deep beneath the ground, only leaving the ruins of a once great age. After the reset, the church sent out its minions to scavenge what remained of those ancient cities. They explored the ruins, documenting everything. This became known as the Founding. The history we're taught today? Yeah, it's all a lie. Across the world, even in the United States, these cities weren't being built. They were being literally founded. The new church rewrote history, hiding the truth of advanced civilizations from this new population. They had to program the first set of orphans through the schooling system. And these orphans weren't just any children. They were the chosen ones, handpicked to become the elites of the new age. They were initiated into secret brotherhoods, where this knowledge of the reset and Freemasonry would be carefully guarded. These orphan brotherhoods began to clean up these cities, raise the streets, and create what we now know as downtowns. Many of these buildings were still buried, and there was a complete underground portion of the city that would be unknown to the general public. But there was still a problem. They needed to fill in these empty ghost cities with people. These first orphans were infertile and didn't even know what sex was. But within the brotherhoods, they were entrusted with one crucial secret.
Do that. I want to go back.
After the reset, the church sent out its minions to scavenge what remained of those ancient cities. They explored the ruins, documenting everything. This became known as the Founding. The history we're taught today? Yeah, it's all a lie. Across the world, even in the United States, these cities weren't being built. They were being literally founded. The new church rewrote history, hiding the truth of advanced civilizations from this new population. They had to program the first set of orphans through the schooling system. And these orphans weren't just any children. They were the chosen ones, handpicked to become the elites of the new age. They were initiated into secret brotherhoods, where this knowledge of the reset and Freemasonry would be carefully guarded. These orphan brotherhoods began to clean up these cities, raise the streets, and create what we now know as downtowns. Many of these buildings were still buried, and there was a complete underground portion of the city that would be unknown to the general public. But there was still a problem. They needed to fill in these empty ghost cities with people. These first orphans were infertile and didn't even know what sex was. But within the brotherhoods, they were entrusted with one crucial secret: the knowledge of the sacred cabbage. Crazy, right? I didn't believe it either until my parents, buyers, showed me these old postcards. These postcards are very real, and apparently, these Masonic.
That's pretty good the way he's done this. Like, he's got the old postcards and got AI to animate it. He put a lot of work out of this with the AI art app thing. Don't know which one he used. There's quite a lot of them here.
Orphans kept them as a way to keep truth hidden in plain sight. But it actually gets even darker than that. I was told that these postcards were advertisements, a means to sell babies. During this early post-reset era, the new church needed more minions. What started small turned into a full-scale operation. Babies were grown in cabbages on massive farms. This was how they repopulated the empty cities. Couples would come to the farms and pick out their favorite baby from the cabbage patch.
Using a really effect.
They didn't really see these babies as their own, but instead they were merely products. It became a cultural phenomenon to purchase babies, and they were sold on the streets, in carts, at shopping centers, and even at world fairs. These world fairs were repurposed ancient buildings that were used to display ancient advanced technology, and they would show off the incubator babies. These incubator babies were cabbage babies that had still not fully developed, and this tech was used to speed up the birthing process. People from around the world would come to see the spectacle and to even purchase one of these incubator babies. Some babies were even sent over in the mail. Delivery men would bring these fresh babies right to your door. Not only that, but you could also have a stork deliver a baby right to your window. It was pretty wild times. These storks would care for the babies on the cabbage patches, and when the time was right, they would be delivered accordingly to their appropriate families. Some say that the storks were delivery men, but others insist that these storks have been participating in this practice since ancient times. But as you can guess, things didn't stay simple. There were too many babies. They started repopulating cities on the East Coast, but those filled up way too fast. It was the industrial age, and the cabbage farms were pumping out babies for the factories. These poor cabbage-born children were put straight to work. These miners were also miners in mining operations. It's a sad truth that these cabbage babies were taken advantage of.
They always got it so right.
Meanwhile, the elite orphans, the ones in the secret brotherhood, were busy cleaning up cities on the West Coast, preparing them for the next batch of the population. That's when the cabbage trains started rolling in.
One of them postcards, yeah. Oh, I knew there'd be another one. Normally 3. Depending on how long the video is. Back to the start.
They started repopulating cities on the East Coast, but those filled up way too fast. It was the industrial age, and the cabbage farms were pumping out babies for the factories. These poor cabbage-born children were put straight to work. These miners were also miners in mining operations. It's a sad truth that these cabbage babies were taken advantage of.
Solid if it was invisible.
Meanwhile, the elite orphans, the ones in the secret brotherhood, were busy cleaning up cities on the West Coast, preparing them for the next batch of the population. That's when the cabbage trains started rolling in. Trains packed with cabbage babies, sent from the east to the west, ready to fill up the newly founded cities. Some of these babies were even left to fend for themselves, dropped off in the middle of a city with no clue what to do next.
Oh, wow, those kids were creepy.
Now I know what you're probably thinking.
That one looks
Why?
like real.
Why would they go through all this trouble?
Them ones.
What's the point? The truth is, history isn't what we've been told. There are secrets. Secrets about ancient civilizations, magic, and the creation of cabbage babies. If people knew the truth, it would unravel the world as we know it. So after the repopulation phase, the church kicked off a massive propaganda campaign to teach us a new fake history. If we knew that we came from cabbages, well, many would not be able to handle that sort of truth. So we ignore it. Over time, infertility was cured, but the cabbage babies never stopped being produced. It only went underground, and the techniques became far more advanced. This is still done in secret, in underground factories, for reasons that cannot be fully explained. But fortunately, there are some cabbage babies that remember. They remember the history of how we got here. Thankfully, many are beginning to wake up, and all we can hope is that one day, our minds will be unveiled.
Let go of everything you think to be true. Relax the mind and ask the question, do I truly understand what this reality is?
Ooh. Yeah, so that was a movie he just made. Mine's Unveiled. Hey guys, so I'm practicing making AI films since, let's be real, in a year or so, this stuff's going to be so insane. I wanted to try something dark, surreal, and kind of comical, nothing too serious. I know some of you aren't into AI, but I just want to have fun and make a short film about the cabbage babies. Yeah. So that's Mine's Unveiled. Yeah, I like the channel. Yeah, I was watching the Inner Earth one, Deep State, Tree Peoples. Largest stone, the colossal. These dolls are Eve. Oh, that's horror movie. There's there you have it. What else is there? Well, really, no one's going to come here. Jace was the only one, I think. Oh, I mean, it said there were 4 in here before, but that's. Yeah, it says there's one watching. That's probably me. Well, just. What else is there? I don't do live streams, but let's see. What's a good one? I don't know. Spy Kids is about human trafficking. Was it? I don't know. I started watching it. I haven't seen this though. I don't think. I remember the horrible film. It was really creepy. '80s film, I think.
Hey guys. Got a few things that we're working on. Sorry for the delay, but lots of new stuff is coming soon. Hope you guys are enjoying your summer. Today, I wanted to do a movie breakdown. Haven't done one in a while, and this movie is very bizarre. Not too many people have heard of it because it's a French film, but it's a really surreal, dark fantasy movie with a bunch of esoteric symbolism and references to multiple real-world conspiracies. I thought it would be cool to go over and point out all the weird stuff in the movie. So if you haven't seen it, keep in mind there will be spoilers, but it is a long movie, so I don't think it's that bad if you want to see the breakdown and then go watch it for yourself after. The movie we're diving into today is called The City of Lost Children from 1995.
Oh, 95.
It's a pretty wild ride, and we're going to unpack all the strange, hidden meanings and symbols packed into this fever dream of a film. Once you see what's beneath the surface, you'll never look at this movie the same way again. With that, get some popcorn, sit back, and let's get started. The movie starts off with a kid's bedroom, all decked out for Christmas, but something's off. There's not just one Santa, but a whole bunch of them start creeping in. It actually starts to get pretty terrifying. This poor kid is watching in horror as these Santas start taking all his stuff. And then to add to the weirdness, there's this albino reindeer that decides now's the great time to take a dump. It's basically some type of surreal Christmas nightmare. Suddenly, we get to a new scene. A guy's waking up, screaming his head off, with some kind of freaky device strapped onto his head.
Yeah, I can't remember much.
He's not alone. There are 4 identical twins who start screaming right along with them.
Had a bit of a creepy
So they're
vibe.
in some kind of lab, and then it only gets weirder from here. They all stop screaming at once and gather around this contraption. There's a little kid hooked up to it, clutching a teddy bear for dear life. And then it says that some mad genius named Crane is stealing this kid's dreams. This is pretty trippy. We see a brain, just a brain, trying to talk some sense into the scientists. It's asking how is this madness going to end? But instead of answering, the scientist grabs the kid's teddy bear and starts beating the crap out of it. The camera pans out and we see this lab is perched above the ocean in some crazy surreal setting. It seems to be some type of oil rig. The teddy bear falls out the window, sinking into the depths below. It's a pretty blatant symbol, but we'll get into what it all means later. Next thing we know, we're in this dark, dystopian looking town. There are a couple of kids messing around with a slingshot by the docks, and the whole place has this gloomy, oppressive vibe. We see one of those strength tester games, like the ones where you hit the lever with the hammer. At the very top, near the bell, it says, The City of Lost Children. So I guess that's the name of the city? Turns out there's some kind of circus in town. We hear an announcer hyping up the crowd for the world's strongest man. But that's not all. In the same shot, we're shown this weird cult or secret society handing out pamphlets. They're spouting some nonsense about penetrating the corridors of the shadows to become one of the chosen ones. I wonder what they're referencing. And then just to hammer home the whole secret society angle, there's an Eye of Providence symbol behind them, obviously referencing Freemasons. These guys are actually asking people to pluck out their eyes to join them and build a better world. Nothing says utopia like a bunch of self-mutilated cultists. While all this is going down, we see a couple of kids trying to pickpocket the crowd. They seem to be street urchins, and they're targeting this little one who's collecting money for the strongman. Turns out this kid's just another orphan in this messed up city. The announcer tries to stop the kids from stealing, but out of nowhere, some dude pops up and stabs him in the back. Then the guy just bolts after that, leaving everyone in shock. Our strongman, who's been chained up this whole time, breaks free, and he's worried about the announcer, but it's too late. As the crowd gathers around the poor stabbed guy, we get a glimpse of something shady going down in the shadows. There's this group of people lurking around, and one of them only has one eye. The other two are wearing sunglasses, just like those cult weirdos that we saw earlier handing out the pamphlets.
One eye symbol.
So, it's not that hard to figure out that these guys probably had something to do with the murder. It's already going pretty hard with the secret society stuff. But here's where it gets even creepier. As this mysterious group takes off, we see a bunch of flyers in the background. They're saying stuff like, "Enough disappearances," "Where are our children?" and "Missing person notice, high reward." So it's pretty clear this town's got a serious problem with kids vanishing. It seems that it has something to do with this one-eyed cult. Next thing we know, we're at this caravan. The stabbed announcer is laid up in the bed, and that orphan kid from before is just chilling, having a bite to eat. Suddenly, an apple and a string bumps against the window. They're literally fishing for kids. The strong man's not going to have any of it, so he grabs the apple and shuts the door. This cult is trying to steal the child, and they're not going to give up that easy. One of them, with the one-eye device, shoots the door open, and they seem to have this device that gives them this night vision. The strong man and the orphan try to hide, but these guys have some kind of sound amplifier. They eventually find them, but the strong man puts up a fight. In all the chaos, we see the poor orphan kid getting stuffed into the van. And then again, we see the Masonic eye symbol right on the van, which is the hole that the kid is stuffed through. The strongman chases after them, but the van gets away. He ends up in this small building by the water, where he finds a whole group of street orphans. Turns out, the kid they took is known as Little Brother. The cult's still after the strongman, and it seems they're trying to take him out. He plays dead when they come into the orphan's hideout, and these are the same orphans that we saw stealing earlier, and they got a pretty big stash. The bad guys don't notice our strongman, but they do help themselves to all the orphans' money before taking off. But the orphans aren't totally broke. They got even more cash stashed away that the Cyclops didn't find. That's what they're calling these one-eyed people in the cult. The kids grab their money and dip, and the strongman decides to follow them. Okay, now we start to get weird. We got 4 identical brothers, which definitely seem to be clones, singing "Happy Birthday" to a brain. And it's not just a person with a brain, it's a straight up brain in some steampunk contraption. This brain's name is Uncle Irvin, and he's got this whole setup where he can see and hear everything going on, kind of like Siri's creepy great-grandfather or something. So in walks the mad scientist, Crank. He's not too thrilled about this little birthday party.
Yeah, it is very steampunk. Yeah, that's what you call this film, steampunk. But I remember the director did another film before this called Delicatessen. And it's set in the future. I think it's the resort to cannibalism or something. Very dark, steampunky film too. I'll have to look that one up again.
Party. But Uncle Irvin's got some interesting ideas. He's theorizing that maybe the reason kids are only having nightmares is because the evil is coming from Crank himself, not the kids. Uncle Irvin suggests Crank look for the reason for his trauma in his own tears. Then the brain launches into this fairy tale that's
Right, so that's right. They were after children's tears for some reason, which is very much like the old adrenochrome thingy.
clearly about Crank himself. It's all about this super smart inventor who could create life. He made himself a wife, but she ended up tiny thanks to some wicked genetic fairy.
Know what's going on.
Then he cloned 6 kids,
Part of the
but
club.
they all got narcolepsy or something.
Film directors.
Finally, he grew a brain in a fish tank. That's our boy Irvin. The issue is this genius inventor forgot to give himself the ability to dream. So he's aging fast and miserably. Crank starts crying when he hears this because, surprise, it's his own story. So basically, he's very smart, but he can't dream, and that's why he's stealing kids' dreams. Next scene, we're back with the orphans. This is interesting because they're in this weird school run by conjoined twin teachers, but instead of math and reading, they're learning how to become thieves. It's kind of like another underground cult, and the teacher's called the Octopus. The strongman shows up, and the teachers decide that he can help with the heavy lifting. They take this safe down to the water, empty it out, and then ditch it. But then the strongman hears those Cyclops making announcements over a loudspeaker. And then we get some more of that one-eyed imagery.
Yeah, so that's the guy from Hellboy and Sons of Anarchy and all, all them. God, he's been in so many shows, hasn't he?
The strongman, who we now know is called One, is on the hunt for his little brother. He's chasing down that Cyclops truck and then teams up with this orphan girl named Miette, who hands him one of those Cyclops eye devices. Meanwhile, those conjoined twin teachers are throwing a fit because the orphans pulled a fast one on them. They took whatever was in the safe and didn't hand it over. We're back at the mad scientist lab, and one of the clones is yapping about some underwater concert dream he had, or he's completely making it up. Then we've got another clone bringing a kid to this brain machine. Uncle Irvin, the disembodied brain, tells him to put this kid in the sarcophagus thing. Basically a dream sucking device.
People.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. The clone starts asking Uncle Irvin about the story that the clones have been telling each other. Turns out one of these clones is the original, and the rest are just cheap knockoffs. Uncle Irvin suggests that the clone hook himself up to the kid to find out if he's the original. So they put the kid to sleep, strap the clone into this chair that has more Masonic symbols, the square and compass, which could be a reach, but once you see the same symbol over and over again, it starts to become obvious they're referencing this secret society stuff.
Wow,
Just as they're about to start the experiment, a fuse blows. The clone grabs this capsule with the dream in it, and Uncle Irvin tells him to throw it into the sea.
Ruined compass. Yeah.
The square and compass, which could be a reach, but once you see the same symbol over and over again, it starts to become obvious they're referencing this secret society stuff. Just as they're about to start the experiment, a fuse blows. The clone grabs this capsule with the dream in it, and Uncle Irvin tells him to throw it into the sea. Meanwhile, Miette and One are playing spy, sneaking into this weird structure where the Cyclops cult hang out. They're trying to infiltrate the place to find One's little brother. Next thing we know, we're in this underground hideout. There's a priest standing in front of a fire, giving off some sacrificial Moloch vibes. On the altar, we've got a light sun and a black sun. The priest is going on about fighting the power structure. While he's preaching, we see kids being led down a path, all tied up. Pretty messed up scene. And then in the middle of all this, we get this weird moment. Little brother, who's apparently always hungry, gets distracted by some food. Now the movie's playing this off as just a kid being a kid, but the way they shot it and timed it with all the food, and also considering other movies made by the director, It feels like there's more going on here. So we're in this underground chamber that's basically a black market for kids. These little ones, all 5 years old or younger, are being sold off to our mad scientist for his messed up experiments. The wife's greedy for even more kids, but the priest is getting nervous. He says that people are starting to ask questions. Turns out they're trading these kids for high-tech gadgets like those eyepieces and super hearing devices. They think that this tech is going to turn them into some kind of superior race. Interestingly, they're calling this eye device a third eye. Apparently, it lets them see into the world of appearances. The priest is going on about temptation and perversion, while we get more of that one-eyed imagery. We're watching some cult member get his third eye installed in what seems to be an initiation ritual. Just as the priest is talking about abolishing the world of appearances, little brother lets out a burp. One and Miette hear this and swoop in to try to save him through the chute. The cult captures them, and one of the cult leaders finds some jewelry and traces it back to those conjoined twin teachers. Which is weird. Do they know each other somehow? This would imply that the twins or the octopus have some connection to the cult, and they could be raising many of these street orphans for this purpose. The twins want to know what he's going to do with One and Miette, and he's planning to take them out to the pier. Back at the lab, our mad scientist Crank is having a heart-to-heart with Uncle Irvin, questioning why are all these kids having nightmares. Irvin tells him that he is the nightmare. He tells Crank he can kidnap every kid in the world, but he'll never have a soul. Crank loses it, accusing the brain of being soulless too, but Irvin replies that he's the only real monster here. Next thing we know, they're setting up for Christmas, even though it's not Christmas. Crank's trying to recreate some specific event. Meanwhile, that dream capsule is still floating around in the ocean. We then meet this new character, Marcelo. The twin sisters are asking him for a favor. They want him to save One, but they couldn't care less about Miette. Marcelo's got this bizarre setup with Russian dolls filled with this special green liquid. He takes some out and, interestingly, gives it to a trained flea. Apparently, this flea is going to be carrying around some kind of poison. I honestly think the CGI for this is surprisingly good for its time. Next, we see Cranks dressed up as this creepy Santa, singing to some terrified kids. He's trying to give them good memories for sweet dreams, but he ends up just traumatizing them. One of the clones drops an ornament on the record player, making the whole scene even more nightmarish. Then all the kids start screaming. Next scene, One and Miette are tied up on a plank over water, with only a basket of fish keeping them from falling. Cyclops are betting on who's going to fall first, but then here comes that flea from earlier, loaded up with that green poison. It lands right on top of the bald Cyclops guy's head. Marcelo shows up, playing some tune that gets the flea to release this toxic material. Suddenly, Baldy goes full on crazy. Turns out this poison isn't just poison, it's some kind of mind control juice. The guy starts taking out his own crew, and we learn something wild. These Cyclops can't see without their devices. It's not just night vision, it's their whole vision. Then it gets pretty wild. The bald guy plugs someone else's eye device into his own, forcing the poor man to watch themselves get off from the killer's perspective. This device, called Opticon, isn't just an artificial eye, it's wired straight into their brains. While all this chaos is going down, Marcelo saves One, but leaves Miette to take a dive. But just when you think Miette's gonna drown, in comes this guy in an old school diving suit rescuing her. Plot twist, it's one of the clones. But this one's got a beard and looks a bit different. This underwater clone has amnesia. He's been living down underground in this bunker, collecting all this junk that the city tosses into the water. Miette recognizes him, but can't place from where. She spots the safe they stole earlier and just starts rifling through it to get back what she stole. When she tries to head back to the surface, our amnesiac clone warns her it's way too dangerous. But then, Miette opens the door and a bunch of baby toys fall out. The toys trigger something in the bearded clone. He starts remembering kids being taken by the devil, children being dragged to hell. Miette decides to take a peek outside and spots a group of kids being herded onto a boat, and little brothers among them. Meanwhile, one's having a full-on pity party thinking Miette has died. Marcelo decides that the best cure for grief is, well, what seems to be a prostitute. Miette makes it back to the surface and tries to fill in the other orphans on the whole Cyclops stealing children situation, but they're more interested in one's apparent night on the town. We cut to one who's very drunk now and seems to have forgotten about Miette, while the lady he's with accidentally says Miette in French, sending one crying. There's this weird moment where she calls him a radiator when he asks if she's cold. This is a detail that gets brought up later. Just then, Miette walks in, telling one to pull himself together. She tells him that she knows where his brother is, but one's so drunk he thinks he's seeing ghosts and passes out. Marcel is shocked to see Miette's alive, but she doesn't bother explaining. Turns out this whole drunk one situation was a setup to hand him over to the twin teachers. But the orphan kids pull a fast one and use a crane to snatch one out of the trunk. But one ends up in the water, and Miette's giving the orphan boys grief for being mean to him, and they accuse her of being in love with one, but she insists he's not even a grown-up. Kind of a weird moment. The orphans bail, thinking Miette's ditching them for one. We get another shot of that boat full of kids, and then there's that dream capsule that got tossed out of the lab earlier. Then the diving man spots the dream capsule that was thrown out a while ago and takes it back to his underwater hideout. Next, one of Miette's trying to catch him asleep, and we learn that one used to be a whale harpooner, but he was so bad at it that he got fired. Miette's curious about what it's like to have a little brother, and one calls her little sister. But then things get a little weird when he starts breathing on her to warm her up, calling himself a radiator, which goes back to that earlier scene with the grown lady in the red dress, which makes it even more strange. Meanwhile, the scuba guy's trying to get some shut-eye in his underwater hideout when something falls, making the dream capsule break open. Green smoke starts floating around and goes straight up his nose. Then it gets pretty psychedelic. The dream from the capsule becomes his dream. It turns out this dream sequence is actually giving him his memories back. Now here's where it gets insane. We get this scene with homunculi growing in large containers. We find out that our diving man is actually the original clone. And interestingly, the whole setup looks like some kind of alchemist lab, which says a lot. Crank comes in all angry and starts choking our original clone. But the original clone chucks a flask at Crank's face, drawing blood. Then Crank's tiny wife gets in and then clocks our clone in the head before they toss him into the water. This dream is an old memory of the original clone that he must have forgotten after getting hit in the head. So it looks like Uncle Irvin, the brain in the tank, knew about this original clone all along and sent the dream capsule on purpose to jog his memory. Now here's where it gets even trippier. The green smoke escapes to the surface and starts giving a bunch of kids nightmares. Again, the CGI is surprisingly good in the way that it seamlessly integrates into the environment. The smoke makes its way to Miette while she's asleep and enters through her nose, giving her the same nightmare. She says that she saw the woman again, Crank's wife, the one who steals children, and that she also saw a minefield. She remembers what the diver told her, that there is a man with tattoos who has the map to get past the minefield. Finally, we see the kidnapped kids arriving at this oil rig castle where the lab is. They're being fed some kind of mush while Crank's enjoying a gourmet meal. Little brother pulls a sneaky one, eating Crank's fancy dinner as it's being sent up in the elevator. But there's this creepy detail in the background with a child's skeleton in the scene. Crank surprisingly isn't too mad about losing his dinner. He's more intrigued by little brother's complete lack of fear. It's like he's found his golden ticket, a kid that's not scared of him. Meanwhile, Miette and One are on the hunt for this tattooed man. Then we get some more of this weirdness where One's giving Miette a foot massage. Okay, now we're getting into some uncomfortable territory here. Miette's asking about One's future plans, and he's talking about maybe getting a wife. So the whole conversation has this strange undercurrent to it. The movie seems to be pushing for some kind of romantic angle between Miette and One, which is questionable to say the least. Miette's trying to look pretty, and One gets Miette for life tattooed on him with the heart. So it does seem that's what they're trying to do here. They finally find the tattooed man. Turns out it's this old Chinese tattoo artist with the map on his head. Back at the lab, one of the clones and Crank's wife spots something getting through the minefield on their radar. Irvin the Brain is calling this guy the Messiah who will save them all. Looks like our original clone is making his grand return, just as the Brain planned. Miette and One are prepping to go rescue little brother, but before they could head off, one of those poison-carrying fleas jumps on One's head. The twin teachers are back to finish what they started. They're after their jewels and start playing that creepy mind control tune. One goes full-on Manchurian Candidate, getting all hypnotized and violent. He slaps Miette and starts choking her while the twins keep playing their twisted melody. Miette's about to die when her tear sets off this Rube Goldberg-esque chain reaction, ending with a ship crashing into the pier. After all this goes off, One finally breaks out of his trance and falls into the water with Miette. They eventually make their escape and start navigating through the minefield. Meanwhile, Crank's playing nurse to Irvin the Brain, giving him migraine meds. He's got some high hopes for little brother being his ticket to Dreamland. Miette and One finally reach their destination, and then there's this random pelican. To me, it seems to be a Rosicrucian symbol, or it could just be a pelican. We get more of this weird romantic tension between Miette and One as she squeezes through a small hole. One ties a string around her, and she mentions that they're really starting to get attached, hinting towards their relationship again. Inside, the Brain's prepping Crank for his big dream attempt. Miette's sneaking around, nearly gets shot by Crank's wife, but she gets saved by the original clone, now known as the Professor. The Professor is basically going full Demolition Man, planting dynamite everywhere. The Professor's so focused on destroying everything that he's forgotten about the kids. Crank's wife, in a surprising moment of decency, gives Miette a key to find the children. We find a little brother hooked up to the dream machine, and Miette stumbles into this scene. The Brain drops the bombshell that he's been waiting for her all along. Turns out he was trying to send her the location through dreams. Miette can't just unplug little brother because he's under a spell. The Brain tells her the only way to save him is to enter his dream. So Miette's gearing up for some Inception level rescue mission. And would you look at that? The dream is the same creepy Santa scene from the beginning of the movie. We've come full circle with the one-eyed symbolism in that poor abused teddy bear. Miette enters the dream world and grabs the child thinking she's rescuing little brother. The surprise, she's actually holding Crank. This is probably the trippiest part. The dream landscape of the child's room morphs into the oil rig walls, blurring the lines between reality and the dream even further. We've got some heavy symbolism going on here. That child skeleton makes another appearance, and then there's this Ouroboros snake handle that we saw earlier when Crank used it to get his dinner. But it's not just some food delivery system. It's a symbol of Crank stealing the children's energy to stay young. Secret symbols hiding in plain sight. Meanwhile, our original clone is still planting dynamite everywhere. Then we see that one fell on the pelican's nest, and so it does seem to be a symbol hinting at some kind of sacrifice and renewal. Crank then reveals this ring we haven't seen before, another Ouroboros with a gem. They keep emphasizing the symbol of eternal renewal. And then here's where it gets really twisted. Crank is not just about stealing dreams, it's about stealing youth. We watch Miette age rapidly while Crank gets younger. The symbolism keeps coming. We've got a library in the background, so knowledge, that creepy child skeleton again, and then Crank's ring falls off as he gets too young to wear it. It's clear now that this isn't just a fantasy film, it's diving deep into occult symbolism. Then we get this bizarre dance scene with old Miette and young Crank. Crank keeps de-aging until he's a baby, while Miette becomes ancient. There's some poetic justice here as Crank can't reach the Ouroboros handle that he's been using to steal youth. Miette, now impossibly old, pulls the handle instead. She disappears behind a red curtain. More symbolism here. While the dream version clone hooks baby Crank up to this dream machine, creating this bizarre loop sequence like he's stuck in a time loop or something. Crank finally wakes up screaming, stares blankly for a moment, and then drops dead right on Irvin's camera. Miette's still stuck in dreamland, but now one's there trying to wake her up. She finally wakes up too, saying that she's had this really weird dream. Meanwhile, the original clone is trying to blow himself up with the oil rig. Juan and Miette grab all the kids and make a run for it. The bomb goes off and everyone's scrambling to escape. Even Irvin the Brain is making a break for it. The original clone seems to have gone insane and doesn't want to leave. But then, a piece of paper with an equation flutters into his hand, and suddenly he has a change of heart and decides that he wants to live after all. This paper must have given him a memory, and we find out that this original clone is actually the creator of all of the clones and even Irvin the Brain. He's the professor. The whole place goes up in flames as everyone else makes their escape. Then the movie randomly ends with little brother burping. This film really is a fever dream, but on the first watch, a lot of these details might be missed because it is a long movie and it's better if you watch the original French version. But the movie really does have a lot of esoteric symbols and references made, which makes it very interesting. Is the director trying to say something? Interestingly, the director Jean-Pierre Jeunet has other bizarre films, one called Delicatessen, which came out before The City of Lost Children and has some of the same actors. It's literally a film about eating humans, and we get some of that pig symbolism. He's most well known for his movie Amélie, which is the most successful French film, but he has more movies with interesting symbolism. Micmacs also makes a reference to the Masons as the arms manufacturer logo is the square and compass. Oh, and the character 1 is played by Ron Perlman, who's in some other movies with esoteric themes such as Hellboy 1 and 2, where he plays a summoned demon through a portal and he's an agent in a secret government agency. Hellboy 2 also has some more symbols with underground cities. I guess I'll leave it at that. The City of Lost Children is a very unique film, filled with a bunch of occult symbols, and I just thought it would be cool to cover it. You have children being taken for esoteric secret projects, homunculi, clones, cult societies, orphans, mind control, and stealing youth. If there are any other strange films that you want us to cover and break down, please let us know in the comments. We got some more stuff coming out soon. Thanks for watching, and all we can hope is that our minds may be unveiled.
Let go of everything you think to be true. Relax the mind and ask the question, do I truly understand what this reality is?
Just realised I was muted. Oh, shit. Well, I was just thought about, yeah, I'm striked. Can't stream for 2 weeks, and how tired I am lately. Yeah, Bruno's tired, and Bruno's fallen off this couch. Like he's going to go off the couch, and he's fallen in a heap. So this couch is getting too big for him. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for no one watching. And yeah, I'm so tired. I don't know why. I think it's the cell towers and the chemtrails and all the signals and shit. We're all fucked.